Hello, my children, Lord Bathory, and I have a hell of a video to tell. And I have a hell of a video for today. Before we get into it, I'd like to announce that I got my first sponsor for the channel. If you're someone who loves listening to things like black metal, grindcore, or just any other alternative genres of music like deathcore or hardcore, especially hardcore. If you're someone who loves listening to hardcore, you're gonna love today's sponsor.
Sponsor for today's video is a shower, and it's the best damn thing that you could ever ask for. Now, unlike other YouTubers that just cram sponsorships down your fucking throats, you don't have to worry about clicking any links in the description of this video. When it comes to taking a shower, there are no links, because no links means no spam emails flooding your inbox. Although for certain ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I wouldn't mind filling a few inboxes with a little spam. No links also means that none of your information, like credit cards, your home address, or even your passwords could get stolen and sent to my boy Sujay up in India. And best of all, no links means no subscriptions, because I'm sure that you and I are sick of our subscription culture. Do you remember when you could use things like Amazon Prime and HBO Max? I'm not calling it fucking Max, by the way. Remember when you could use both of those things and not have to worry about ads every 5 fucking minutes during a 1-hour movie? Because I sure do, and it was a pretty great fucking time. All you have to do in order to sign up and take your first shower today is to go to your bathroom, find the bathtub, turn that shit on, and just go to town. You got any soap, some shampoo, some conditioner? That's even better. That's perfect. That's an A+ in my book. Lather and rinse that shit on, and you can take as much showers as you want for the rest of your life. Preferably once a day. Now, especially dedicated fans of the Eros E Bathory YouTube channel do get a special code that you can use every single time that you take a shower. All you have to do is yell code Eros E Bathory at the top of your lungs every single time you take a shower. And trust me, I'll know. I won't be watching you, but it's just like I get like a feeling in my chest, like it's heartburn. I have a lot of problems if you couldn't tell. Once again, that's code Eros E Bathory every single time you yell at the top of your lungs while taking a shower. You'll get like one of my pubes in the mail or something every time you do it, I don't know. Now let us return to our inconsistently scheduled program.
Now, Lords of Chaos is a film that I'm pretty sure needs no introduction, especially if you're just like any vague fan of black metal, whether you're a poser that thinks they're actually into the genre, or an elitist who's been into the genre for too long. As long as you know what black metal is, you're gonna know what Mayhem is, the story of Mayhem, and unfortunately, the story of this movie. Lords of Chaos gained a lot of infamy as soon as it was just announced as a movie concept, because the movie takes a lot of creative liberties with the story of Mayhem. Like, of course, there's the fake girlfriend character that didn't exist in real life. There's the fact that they made Euronymous hot. They casted Varg with a Jewish actor. And just in general, they made Varg this womanizing sex monster, which is... If you can look at this, you can tell that they never fucked at all. They do not fuck unless it was each other. Which is a funny thing to mention because Lords of Chaos is a guilty pleasure movie for me. I watch it every once in a while just to get like a really dumb laugh out of it. And during one of my rewatches of Lords of Chaos, I began to realize something that really made my viewing experience much better. If you're someone that already has a hard time watching Lords of Chaos, I'm about to make it so much worse for you, or a little bit easier to digest. Because in my opinion, Lords of Chaos is not only about the story of Mayhem, it's about a secret, gay, forbidden romance between Euronymous and Varg.
I am Oyster Narson, an average teenager, you may think, but you couldn't be more wrong. Varg. Like Varg. We became close friends.
I'm right here. You don't have to be afraid. I said take off your clothes. Now.
From now on, we have to lay low.
I'm going public.
They need to know what we've done and that we intend to do more.
It's going to affect all of us. I'm sure they'll come after us for all the other stuff, too.
So we're just gonna run and hide like fucking chickens.
If you do this, we're fucked, Christian.
Can't have it both ways. Okay? Like you said in your letter. Friends.
Just leave, okay?
Where are you going?
You fucked it up for all of us! People are supposed to think we're fucked in the head.
You fucking are. Either you do it for the cause and you take action, or you do it because you want attention. You can't have it both ways.
The Black Circle is nothing more than just symbolism for a secret gay community in Norway that's proud of their identities. The Helvete record store, the basement, it's a safe space for all these young, gay, angsty black metal listening teenagers to, like, be in their zone, be in their element, embrace Satan, embrace each other, and maybe even explore each other's bodies in some cases. The centerpiece of this theory that really ties everything with this gay romance story together is the edgy acts, specifically the church burnings. In my opinion, the church burnings are a metaphor for gay sex. Also, the stabbing scene counts as gay sex, the stabbing scene with Faust, which is really funny because Faust is stabbing a gay guy. Now, I bet you're wondering, what about the scene with Faust burning the church with Varg and Euronymous? That's a threesome. Don't lie to yourself. We all know that it's a threesome if this whole gay sex metaphor is as accurate as I'm making it out to be. What about the scene where Varg burns the church by himself? That's just him touching himself. What I want you to do is I want you to listen to how I explain and describe Varg and Euronymous' first church burning together. I want you to listen and try to figure out how it could not be perceived as gay. Varg and Euronymous are out late at night, ready to cause some mayhem. Varg, having the experience, makes the first moves to burn down the church. Euronymous is hesitant at first, realizing how truly hardcore Varg is with his actions and his identity. Their visit to the church is longer than they expected because they're having some difficulty kicking things off. Their homemade bomb isn't going off. They gotta do things the old-fashioned way, and they have to hurry before they get caught. They try again, and this time Euronymous decides to participate, going at his own pace. With the sparks rekindled, Varg and Euronymous embrace, and as they properly take in what they've done together, they lock eyes, and a tension can be felt between their gaze. A tension so strong it makes my ass clench. But before they can inch any closer, an explosion goes off. Their night ends off with a huge bang. Now, I bet you're wondering, how does Dead fit into this whole gay romance equation? Because he does take up a solid chunk of the movie, even though he does leave pretty early on in the story. Dead is actually the most important part of the romance between Varg and Euronymous. Dead is Euronymous' first love in Lords of Chaos. He was the one that kicked off everything and truly opened Euronymous' eyes to being edgy, to being the Lord of Chaos, to being the gayest black metal guy in the first place. Dead's dedication to death, misanthropy, and suicide is symbolism for how he's proud as a gay man, as the Lord of Chaos. He even tries to show Euronymous how to truly embrace being a Lord of Chaos. Dead expresses himself and doesn't care what he thinks. He does it for the sake of being outspoken. He goes above and beyond for the sake of his identity as Dead, as the edgy Lord of Chaos. But with all that outspoken confidence comes the baggage that led him to becoming so outspoken. He was bullied as a kid for being weird, and unfortunately one day, his demons got the best of him. He decides to take his own life. With Dead dying, it leaves a hole in Euronymous' heart, and now he's just a lost, confused twink. But he meets Varg as a very morbid Rebound. Varg is also proud of his identity, but not in the same way that Dead was. He wasn't truly proud of who he is as an expressive, edgy gay man. Instead, he's trying to prove that he's edgy for some weird egotistical point. Euronymous goes back and forth throughout the movie trying to figure out if he can truly dedicate himself to being a Lord of Chaos, the gayest version of him. Now, you might have noticed that I didn't mention Euronymous' girlfriend. That's just because I genuinely forgot about her. She's such a forgettable character that already didn't exist to begin with, that she didn't factor in at all with this whole gay romance thing. Euronymous just goes back and forth, figuring out if he can truly dedicate himself to being a Lord of Chaos, being the gayest version of himself as possible, and he's just constantly worried about having him and the Black Circle, this movement that he started, being outed by name for their actions and who they are as people. And what really doesn't help is the fact that Varg is just very abrasive and very demanding with his desire to burn more churches. Varg is very proud of their church burnings, the gay sex, and wants to do it as much as possible because he loves it. He loves having this with Euronymous. But we see that every time they bring it up, people like Hellhammer get uncomfortable at the mention of these kind of conversations and just kind of awkwardly backs out. Like, he wants to be supportive, but he's still a little uncomfortable when you mention it in front of him. We see that they want to be proud of their actions, their church burnings, their gay sex, and all these other edgy things, but they don't want their names attached out of fear of persecution, which is a very common thing that a lot of gay people just come with, people from all spectrums of sexuality. You think my fucking mom knows that I love men and women? Fuck no! But with Varg really being pushy with his actions, as well as the paranoia of being outed for all these edgy things, he decides to just grow up, go on his own, and just become his own person. He decides to break up with Varg. Varg initially tries to leave like little gay breadcrumbs of their activities, but of course he eventually just goes out with it, comes out, and just gives out like the black circle and says that, hey, it's us. We're the ones that are doing all these unspeakable things, and we're proud. We're gay, and we're burning churches. And we explore each other's bodies. By the way, this has no bearing on, like, the stakes of this gay romance. But we know that Euronymous would definitely be the bottom. Not even a power bottom, just like, he would take his clothes off immediately and bend down in front of Varg. But he wouldn't do it willingly. He'd be scared as shit. But once again, Varg decides to go public, and with everything being out in the open, Euronymous is very pissed. And he gets into a really nasty argument with Varg, and tensions are at their peak, everything boils over, and they just truly decide to cut things off, realizing that the good times are just finally over. And as the tensions rise between Varg and Euronymous, word gets around that Euronymous threatens to kill Varg for getting everything out in the public. But of course we know that Varg decides to go for the kill before Euronymous gets the chance. What Varg doesn't know is that Euronymous never meant anything that he said. In a fit of rage, Euronymous just made an empty threat as a response, an emotional response to the heartbreak of losing a fiery, passionate relationship with Varg. When Euronymous answers the door to greet Varg, there isn't any malice. If anything, Euronymous just wishes that things could have worked out better, and that they could have at least stayed as friends despite everything that happened. Every time Euronymous tries to initiate a conversation and end things off on a bittersweet note, Varg just decides to take it as a threat. And once we get to the titular point where Varg is just plunging his knife into him, just digging into him, Euronymous doesn't feel angered despite the numerous stab wounds in his stomach. Instead, he just feels betrayed. He's even more heartbroken than he was leading up to this night because someone he loved dearly has decided to retaliate and kill him. And it was his best friend, someone that probably never even loved him to begin with and decided to just use him for the sake of church-burning gay sex. If you liked this video, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. If you know someone that like really hates this movie, you should ruin their day by sending this video to them. Or you should really just like turn them off from watching Lords of Chaos or getting into black metal just by showing them this video. But if you're someone that's offended by me trying to make something dark and evil really gay, that's probably the gayest shit that I've ever heard. I'm gonna do it again. We're all a little gay if we listen to metal.